everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with this week's design, and it's our cute little seesaw card. There's two collections, up and down we go. There's going to be two collections here. There's the monkey with the cat, the rabbit with the dog, which is the one we're going to make today, complete with matching envelope boxes. So there's one that I've sort of created sort of grass and jungly, and the other one beach and waves influence. So if you're any good at inking, you can bring all those elements into this card design. I've just done a basic version. There's an insert that goes with the card as well, so if you wanted to stamp a greeting or print out a greeting to go inside, that's also there. I haven't actually added it to the card, but it is in the file. So I've actually cut out the base card. I've gone round the edges on the scoreboard, as I always do, to give me the edge for matting and layering. That's mat 1. Again, I've gone round the edges of both of these mats. And that piece is the second mat, which will also hold the seesaw element. Okay, so there's lots of little pieces. I'm just going to start with a little bit of gluing so that these pieces can be going off while we're creating the rest. So that's just the mat 1 going onto the base card. I'm going to turn it inside out and just burnish it well down as well. Like I said, there is an insert that will go to the inside. Okay, now this is the little pulley piece, and I've just cut out two of these to mat on top of one another, just for strength more than anything. I feel that anything kinetic, if there's movement, it needs that little bit of extra strength. So it's just two pieces, they're exactly the same size, and I'm just matting one on top of the other. And again, I can put that to one side, and that can be, the glue can be drying while we're working on the rest of the card. So now we move on to the seesaw element. So we have mat 2 with a rather odd shaped little piece. And we've also got lots of little bits. There's 4 little ovals with a dotted line in the middle. There's 5 ovals without and 2 circles. And you're going to need all of those pieces for this element. Okay, I'll talk you through which you're going to need where, so don't worry about it. And there's also 2 little straps. If you think of a watch, they're going to help keep the pulley in place on the card. So again, I'll talk you through. Take 2, to start off, take 2 of the little ovals with the score line in the middle. You put in one to the left side of one of the slots and one to the right side. They're a bit fiddly because they're small, but so sort of half of it goes under the card, half goes over. And then make sure they're burnished down, and you want them so that they're touching in the centre. Take one of the ovals, add a little bit of glue and pop it over the centre of those 2 pieces. So again, I'm burnishing down. Now this is done on the wrong side of the card. I've now flipped over to the right side of the card. Take one of the circles and add that to the top of the 2 little sliders. Okay, so the wrong side is where you start, the right side is where you're adding. And at this point, make sure that your glue isn't impeding the movement of the slider. Okay? So we're going to repeat exactly the same thing now on the other side. So the 2 pieces that are folded, half under, half over, and then line them up. It is difficult to see. Line them up in the middle with no gap. Take one of the ovals, press them down, burnish them well down so they're quite flat. Take one of the ovals and I'm adding wet glue to it. Pop it on top and then burnish down. So there's the little oval. The other one I was trying to get the pieces lined up. So you need them lined up and with no gap in the centre. So that's the oval going on. Turn your card to the right side. So we're flipping over now. Onto the right side, take your circle and glue that to the top of your slider. So we've now got the two sliders completed and they should move freely at this stage. Make sure that there's no glue impeding movement, otherwise the seesaw won't work when you finish it. Okay? So that's the first part. So turning to the wrong side, and you'll find that this is not centered on the card. The seesaw is lower at one end than it is at the other part of the card. So we're on the wrong side now, and we're going to use the funny shaped little piece. Put your slider bits into the center. We're going to take a brad, and it's a tiny one that I've got here. Push it from the right side of the card through to the wrong side. And then add in that little piece. There is a hole in the centre for the brad to go through. And when you push the brad pins down, don't push them down hard. If you put another piece of cardstock just underneath and just push it down onto that. It doesn't need to go hard down. Okay? And the open slots that you've got there, you want the ovals lining up in the slot. Okay, so just get them into position and just line them up. Okay, so you can see that the hole is covered up by the oval underneath. Okay, now we need some double-sided foam tape. And you're going to cut some little pieces. If you've got foam dots or foam squares, they'll be great. But before you add a little bit of hot glue. I didn't do, and then I had to do it later. So add the hot glue before you add the tape to the centre there. And then I'm going to add hot glue once I've removed the tape off the top. Add hot glue before adding any more. I keep forgetting with the kinetic ones, you do need that extra little bit of strength. And I find that hot glue on these circumstances is probably the best bet, unless you've got some really good strong glue. So take two of the ovals and you're covering up the foam tape with the ovals. Okay, so you had hot glue under the tape, hot glue over the tape, and the ovals on top. Okay, now again, make sure that that is still moving freely and that none of your glue is caught. See, that's me adding the glue underneath the foam pad because it came undone. So if you do it before, if you add it to the tape bit before you add it to the card. That will be good to go. Get rid of all the strings. And again, make sure that you've still got motion happening there. Keep it free. So now we're ready to add the pulley across the top. And when you add this, it goes underneath the little tripod shaped piece, and just so that the pull is lined up on the edges. Now we've got these two little rectangular shaped pieces with a double score line. Fold the score lines on both sides and then add glue to one of the tab legs. Fold up and over. And if you think of a watch strap, this little pulley, these straps are like a watch strap piece that will slide in and out of the straps. It's just a guide to hold them in, to hold the pulley in place. So we're going to repeat exactly the same thing. Create the score lines on both sides, add glue to one of the tab edges, burnish it down into position. There's about 1/8 of an inch between one score line and the other, so it's only a little gap, but it's enough for the card to slide through. And then we're going to pop those into position on the pulley before we add it to the card. So if you slide the joined end to where it says pull, because that's going to be on the wrong side when you turn it, if you get what I mean. So you want the joined end the same way up as the pull. And we're going to position those now. Pop it underneath the little tripod piece and then just evenly distribute those little holders and just push the slider until the pull just fits to the end of the card. And then we're going to add another glue dot, a foam tape dot, add in hot glue underneath it, pop it over the slider, the gap, so it's going in the middle and it attaches to the pulley underneath. Okay, I'll remove the little piece of tape, add hot glue to the top of the foam tape and add your final oval piece to the top. So that's repeating exactly what you've done on the other two parts at the top. Now we can deal with the two little straps. I'm going to add hot glue again to the underside of those straps. Just make sure you've got your pulley in the right place before you glue it down. So I'll be just checking underneath to make sure that the pull is fully visible. And then just hold those straps in position till the glue bites. And that's the kinetic pulley seesaw mechanism completed. So you've got your 5 oval dots, your 2 circle dots on the right side, you've got your little straps and your pulley. Okay, and I would say to just work that a few times. It's a bit awkward because the card's a bit bendy when it's nothing to manoeuvre onto, but just loosen that up and just get it moving before you try and add it to your card. Okay, so we're going to flip over now and do the decoration part. And this is where your creative juices can flow. If you wanted to do any inking to that piece of card, this is a beach scene, or my version of a beach scene. 2 little dogs. And what I've done with this one, I've done a draw line just as instead of a matte layer for a change, and I've used just a silver pen on the black. I rather liked it. And we're going to add some hot glue to the circles on the front of the card and add our little dogs. So we're putting the dogs, they're going to be playing on the seesaw. Now you can have them straight, you can have them facing up, facing down. You can do whatever you like with them. So I'm adding a glue dot to the other side. And add in our other dog on the other side. And I'm going to put this one facing down so they're not both the same. And there we go, up and down we go. It is difficult to move it while the card's moving, but it does go. There we go. And we can continue to decorate now. So the little piece I've got at the bottom for this is my version of sand dunes or little hills. And there's two options. I've done the dotted line on this particular one. So instead of using a mat, I've just done a draw line and then the outer edge. But there's an option on the file for you where there's an actual mat layer in place of that draw line. So if you were wanting to just cut a matten layer, as I've done on this one with the waves, you can do either or. They've both got the dotted line for the draw and cut or a matten layer. And to that, you're going to add a couple of layers of foam tape, a minimum of 2mm, 3 or 4 you could do quite easily. What you want is for your little seesaw creatures, whatever they happen to be, whether it's the dogs, the cats, the monkeys or the rabbits, that they move freely behind that layer. Okay? And again, if you wanted to do any inking, if you wanted to add any seashells or sand or buckets and spades, whatever you've got in your stash, whatever you'd like to add. I've just given you a base here from which you can work. I've done some clouds, and again I've given you the option of either the matten layer or on this particular one I've done the draw line. It's just to show you the difference between the two, but there's both with all of the files. There's 2 collections here, and both come with the option. So you've got with the beach scene, you've got the clouds, the sun, the greeting, and either the waves or the hills. And with the cat and the rabbit, it's more of a jungle with grass and trees. So there's two different collections there, and the different elements in each one. Okay. So I'm just adding the clouds and the sun. You can put these wherever you want to put them, as long as you don't have them impeding the movement of the seesaw. And the little greeting, it's a dog's life on this one. I'm going to add hot glue, and that's to cover up the brad. On the other files, we've got just monkeying around, cats at play, and bunny run. But these are just to cover up. If you didn't want to put those on, you could add a sentiment, as long as I said it fits in there and it doesn't impede the movement of the seesaw, or it can go across the bottom or indeed across the top of your card. If you wanted to put happy birthday or thank you or whatever, you can add them on quite easily. But this particular one, it's just to cover up the brad in the centre of the card. So that's the decoration for this particular one complete. If you wanted to add a little bit of blue at the top for sky, you could do. Or a little bit of inking. Now we need to add the kinetic mechanism to the base card, and for this I'm adding foam tape. It's about 1mm. Again, don't put the tape where the mechanism is moving or you'll stop the seesaw action. So I've added the tape. I'm just removing the layer, and I'm going to add hot glue to those pieces of tape. So make sure it's moving before you add it to the card. If there's any minor adjustments to be made, or if you've got tape in the way, just make sure it's away and clear before you add the hot glue and add it to the base card. And just pop that down. I've got the bevel line to line up, so there's never any doubt of where that's got to go. So just adding that in position. And that's our little seesaw card complete. There we go. Isn't that cute? So like I said, there's the dog and the rabbit are in one collection with the seaside, the hills, the sand dunes and the water and matching envelope boxes. And then in the second collection it's the monkey, which is my personal favourite. I'm a real monkey freak. I love them. I could sit and watch them all day. And the cat is the other one in this collection. So 2 collections, card, matching envelope box with just slightly different elements in each one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next time, bye for now.